There's nothing you can't do if you want it bad enough. Most people don't want it bad enough. Kill me! Come on! Use everything you got! Come on! 5 more. Keep going. Pull! Okay, one more rep. This is the last lap. This is the last 50 yards. You got it good.
A man known for his utterly brutal workouts and unmatched intensity, the Golden Eagle, or better known as Tom Platz, is one of the most beloved in the bodybuilding world. Tom is making a huge resurgence in popularity, not just from having the greatest legs of all time, but from his intense passion for achieving greatness by any means necessary. Tom, however, suffered massive hardships and tragedies that built him into the man he is today. To learn what really made Tom Platz the legend he is, we have to jump to the beginning. Tom was born on June 26, 1955 in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Tom had a fairly normal childhood up until 1965, where his life would change forever. When Tom was just 10 years old, his parents bought him Joe Weider's Teenager Weightlifting Guide along with all the equipment he needed. Tom claimed that when he first felt the bar in his hand, it was like becoming a priest and having a calling from God at that young age. Tom instantly fell in love with weightlifting and ran to his father claiming that this is what he wanted to do for a living. Tom's passionate personality was on full display even at such a young age. His father fully supported Tom's dream and would teach him how to perform each exercise. Tom would worship every word in the manual and spend every minute of his free time weightlifting. To have this amount of drive at such a young age, it was apparent that Tom was meant for greatness.
Energy and that thirst of where it's not just about, oh, I hope I do well. It's like you have to want the success in the gym as much as you want to breathe. Okay? If you started suffocating in this room, you'd find every way to get out of here. You'd be knocking the doors down, yelling, screaming, breaking windows, whatever you got to do to live, right? That's what I brought to the gym. I don't know why this happened to me. It was a gift. I didn't have a choice.
Tom, however, had limited equipment as he was training in his basement, but he didn't let this stop him. He would bench press while laying on the floor, and because of this, couldn't get the bench press to work and thought it was a useless exercise. Tom also did very basic movements, such as bicep curls and shoulder presses, but surprisingly did not train his legs. Something very unknown about Tom that makes his accomplishments even more impressive is he was born with a problem in his lower back where his plates weren't fused together properly. Therefore, Tom avoided all leg exercises so that he wouldn't aggravate his condition further. It was also a common belief amongst his friends that squats were bad for you and that they would ruin your back health. To much irony, Tom was even teased back then and was known as the guy with the skinny legs. Tom's introduction into the professional bodybuilding scene is when he caught eye of a magazine with photographs of Dave Draper. Tom was astonished by what he saw and firmly decided to devote his life to bodybuilding. Now, Tom began to dive into the world of professional bodybuilding. At 11, Tom decided for certain that he wanted to become Mr. Universe after researching all of the bodybuilding scene and competitions. Another one of Tom's earliest inspirations comes from none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Tom recalled seeing a picture of Arnold drinking a protein shake out of a blender and was fascinated by the way his arms were bulging out as he drank the shake. Tom ended up moving to Kansas City, but at the time already had an impressive physique after training for years in his basement. By age 15, he weighed in at a solid 165 pounds, with a noticeably massive chest and back. One day, looking for a change in his new environment, Tom drove his motorcycle down to the local gym to see if he could get a job as a personal trainer. Tom was still 15 at the time, and actually under the legal age for employment. However, the gym owner was thoroughly impressed by Tom's enthusiasm and great physique, and he saw the potential in the young man. So he hired Tom in hopes that people would see a 15-year-old with an amazing physique and that would inspire them to train. The owner was correct, with the gym quickly filling up with new clients wanting to get trained by Tom. Tom's passion for bodybuilding was on full display, with him passionately talking with everyone who entered the gym about weight training. Tom worked there for a few years, and at the age of 17, he would be introduced to the very thing he became known for. The serious lifters at the gym would teach Tom how to squat properly, which officially started Tom's descent into leg training. Tom's very first squat workout was doing 95 pounds for 10 reps, which goes to show that everyone was once a beginner. However, it wasn't love at first sight with Tom. He would keep his leg workouts very short with as little effort required as possible, and would mainly just go to the gym to talk to his friends. In Tom's eyes, legs were only second best. Tom moved for a second time, heading to Detroit where he would start training at Armento's gym. This was a serious Olympic weightlifting gym, which is of course a very different environment than a traditional bodybuilding gym. These weightlifters took a great interest in Tom, and they would teach him how to grow his legs. It was here where Tom would grow his skinny legs into sculpted legs of iron.
He goes, the opportunities that come to you, it's going to come. Wait 2 months before the magazine comes out. The phone's going to start ringing. promoters around the country are going to start calling you. I guarantee it. You have the leg thing going on. That's the thing that you should market your legs. I'm like, Frank, you think so? I didn't know. He goes, yeah, you have something we don't all have. Okay.
Tom even had the honor of being trained by the famous Olympic lifter Norb Szymanski, who is known for his perfect squat technique. This is what really separated Tom's legs from his bodybuilding peers, is that he learned how to squat from Olympic weightlifters and not bodybuilders. After grinding day in and day out for a few more years, Tom knew it was time to start chasing his dream of becoming Mr. Olympia. Tom dropped his life in Detroit and moved to California, where the bodybuilding scene was very strong. By complete coincidence, Tom moved near his childhood idol, Dave Draper, and the two would train together quite often. Tom also started training at all of the local bodybuilding gyms in his area, and noticed something very interesting about the setup of these gyms. The squat rack was always at the very back, and it was never being used. Bodybuilders at the time would say it makes your waist big, and that it makes your butt big, much like his friends as a child. But Tom didn't pay attention to anyone, and knew that this was the way he was going to surpass all of his competition.
The leg thing, I mean, people used to store all the old benches in the squat rack at the old Golds. Arnold and Corney, Ed Corney did that squat thing for pumping iron, but nobody ever squatted, really. They would do 15 maybe reps, or 10 reps at 315, maybe. They did it for the movie. Okay, nobody ever squatted, really.
Tom even managed to become Arnold's student and train with his bodybuilding idol. Tom was known for his signature extreme training sessions, where his workouts were long and grueling, often training past complete failure. Tom grew so strong with his training that he could squat 630 pounds for 15 reps, 300 pounds for 50 reps, and held 500 pounds for 10 minutes on his straight legs. There was truly no limit Tom was not willing to surpass. Outside of bodybuilding, Tom studied at Michigan State University, where he graduated with a master's in fitness science and a bachelor's degree in science, physiology, and nutrition. Tom's debut in professional bodybuilding began in 1973, where he would win the Mr. Adonis competition. Tom would continue to sweep through amateur bodybuilding, dominating many competitions until he won the 1978 World Amateur Championship for the middleweight division. He would also win the overall category and be crowned the Ultimate Champion. And after finishing his degree following the competition, Tom, with $50 in his pocket, moved to Los Angeles. With the dream to make it big and fulfill his childhood goal of winning the Mr. Olympia, Tom was more driven than ever.
I date myself, 1977. I went to Gold's Gym, $50 and a plane ticket. We all went to Gold's Gym like anointed zombies. Anointed zombies. We didn't care about the money. All we wanted to do was train together in the same gym. The fitness industry back in 1977 was 15 people. 10 guys, 5 girls. That was the fitness industry. It was great. The old Gold's Gym was like, oh my God, the energy was so thick. You walk in the door and you couldn't stand it. You didn't even need to eat it. You need to sleep.
And with much hype surrounding him, he competed at the 1979 Mr. Olympia. Tom finished 8th, with an impressive first showing in his professional bodybuilding competition debut. Tom's darkest hour would unfortunately come when he was at his highest. 4 months before the 1980 Mr. Olympia, Tom came home to his wife cheating on him with his longtime training partner. The two people who he trusted and loved most betrayed him. Tom would use this pain as motivation in the gym to destroy his body every day and get into his best shape ever.
I didn't ever told anybody this before either, but she got together with my training partner. And I came home from the 80 Olympia and they're together. I'm like, oh my God. I was so hurt and so baffled that this girl could do this to me. I decided to take all that energy and put it into the gym before the 81 Olympia. I just opened a door to the Gold's Gym that day, that year, and boom, everything would work. It was a magical year. Any exercise I did was, wow, mind-blowing. I would train like every day, and every day looked better and better. I'm in the mirror, I'm scared of myself in the mirror, because I was so focused on this. The fact that something really devastating happened in my life gave me the opportunity to have something great happen. And I think that's the way it works. You got to have good and bad. In life, there's good and there's evil, and there's good and bad.
Tom, despite being considered one of the greats of bodybuilding, never actually finished first in any major bodybuilding competition. Tom's best result was in the 1981 Mr. Olympia, where he finished 3rd, losing to Franco Columbu. Similar to the infamous 1980 Mr. Olympia, many disagreed with the final result, claiming that politics once again decided the competition, with Franco being known as Arnold's best friend. Tom had a real shot at winning the Mr. Olympia, but came up short in what would be his final bodybuilding appearance, where he retired following the 1981 Mr. Olympia. Despite what many considered a robbery in what would be Tom's dream of becoming Mr. Olympia, he is still regarded as one of the most legendary bodybuilders to ever exist. Following the completion of his bodybuilding career, Tom began to act in various films, Tom would later become an infamous bodybuilding coach, and in the International Association of Sports Science, Tom Platz took the chair of the head of the bodybuilding department. Tom's popularity grew even further when he started coaching, and his intensive training style would become iconic. Tom would give it his absolute all and take things to failure, much like Mike Mentzer and his heavy-duty methods. Tom stated that he never wanted to leave the gym, knowing that he could have done more. And when you think you are finished, you actually have about 5 more reps in you. Tom had some ingenious tricks to surpass these imaginary boundaries set by the body. Tom created a technique he had used to fool his mind into thinking he was shorter than he actually was in order to lift more weight on the bar. The theory behind appearing shorter in order to lift more weight is that if you think you're shorter, you're more likely to lift more weight. So, to appear shorter, Tom would wear long socks and claim that it would help him lift more weight, despite how he felt or what was going on in his life outside the gym. Tom would use brute force and squeeze every droplet of potential he had in his system. He left nothing to chance. Outside of bodybuilding, Tom is married to Tom Platz, and he's still heavily involved in the fitness industry, passing on his knowledge and training methods to the younger generations. In August of 2023, he was diagnosed with Bell's palsy, impacting the nerves in one side of his face. However, he is still going strong, calling out the supplement industry for the amount of hidden ingredients that you can find in things like protein powders, creatines, and other supplements that are all supposed to have transparent labels. Tom claims he still focuses on all whole foods in his diet. Tom is living proof that no matter the cards you are dealt, your destiny and fate is ultimately up to you and just how bad you want it.